Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Loudon, New Hampshire at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway as we're ready for pole day qualifying to find out who will start on the pole for tomorrow afternoon's race here at the Magic Mile, race number 8 of the second season of the Craftsman Truck Series. Of course, different New Hampshire than what I used last season, as we got our first few trucks now onto the track. That would be Rogel Dorn and Lauren Grubias, with Dara Schmidt following suit. Sorry, I had to turn off the volume on my TV so I can do this qualifying session. We have 41 of the Go Homers here this weekend, all vying for the 12 spots. A lot of good drivers will not make the show tomorrow afternoon. And a lot of headlines we're going to talk about coming into this race here at Loudon. The top 30 in the points table had their practice session. They've already right now are making some adjustments during this qualifying session to find out who will be in. Rogel Dorn, a 32-119, but Grubias already beat that. As there's Samad Ozkin. There's Grubias. Cheyenne Berkshire coming out on the track. We got William Brock. Derek Elwood back this week in the 53. We'll see him next week at Dover. Dara Schmidt, currently 7th quickest. Victor Alvarez in the number 27 machine. Xavier Rand in the 5. There's Cody Goforth. Mohammed Zain has failed to qualify the last couple of races. And here's another driver, Ellie Rose. We've seen her in the Busch Series. She and Futaba Sakura in the 42, running the Toyota Tundra trucks, trying to attempt to qualify for their Truck Series debut tomorrow afternoon. There is Ruby White in the 72. Quincy Jones made his debut last week. There's Nick Pericles. Bronson Booker. There's Futaba. Currently 4th quickest right now, looking like she could possibly make the show this week. Quincy Jones already on his first timer. Skylar Davidson, a 31.522, will need to pick it up. Same with Tyler. Well, Tyler's 31.437, currently top 10. Samantha Johnson out on the track this week. Lucien Bianchi. Last week's winner, Rachel Sutton from Texas. Jacob Foster, 26th quickest here in the early stages. Cody Goforth, a 31 flat. Ruby White, 31 flat. 31.013. During the top 30's practice session, I saw 32nd lap time that was set by Maisie Creighton, who was the fastest in that group. Trinity Lee trying to find some speed and improve a 31.701. There's Sasha Bryant. We already talked about Samantha Johnson. Quentin Moore trying to qualify his way into this week's field. As we're now halfway through the first part of qualifying. Timo Mauser currently on the outside looking in. Dropped 2 spots to 34th in the points. Samad Ozkin dropped to 31st in the points. He fell out of the top 30. Scarlett Wallace needs to improve at 31. 229, 263 for CJ Bracken as he's still trying to make his first start of his career in the Truck Series. He needs to pick up the pace. He did not qualify for his home race last week. Futaba, a 39.64. That was a cracker of a lap. Lindsey Sutton, 35th quickest, 37th now, 31.448. Helga Gunnarsson made her debut last week at Texas. I don't know if she can get in the show this week with a 31.337, but we'll see her in the Red Bull GT Series. Lucas Sales, 31.294, needs to improve that time. Samad Ozkin now on the bubble as far as that is concerned. And now he's been bumped. That was Trinity Lee who put a good lap. Lucy Granger back this week in the 50 machine. Lucian Bianchi goes quicker, 39.22. What a good qualifying session we're having so far. And it's only the opening round of this qualifying session, by the way. We have two. Phelan Bradley back this week trying to qualify his way into his first Truck Series race. William Brock, currently a 31.280, puts him 36 quickest. Xavier ran a 31.180. And top of the board goes Mohammed Zain, a 38.91. Good lap for a driver who's failed to qualify the last couple of weeks, as they're three wide. That is the 12. That's Ellie Rose, who's still looking to find some speed in that Toyota Tundra number 12. Sasha Bright went to the top of the timesheets, as the top 12 really is changing a lot. Timo Mauser now on the bubble. What a lap for Sasha Bright, trying to make the show this week. Should mention, if you do a driver change, that will have to happen after the season. If Sasha Bright does a driver change, it will have to happen at the next race I record. Just giving you an FYI. And now Timo Mauser's been bumped. Ruby White now on the bubble. As we're down to under 3 minutes to go here in this opening qualifying session. Now she's been bumped. Derek Elwood, 39.96. That puts Trinity Lee now on the bubble. Same with the 38. And Trinity Lee's been bumped by the 38. And now the 38's on the bubble. That bumps Derek Elwood out of the Fast 12 to advance into the second round of qualifying. And that was Baby CJ, 39.61 for the Texan from Denton, Texas. Pedro Sales goes second quickest. That puts the 38 now on the bubble. Cody Goforth looks like he will make the show, barring anything happens. Bianchi goes sixth quickest. But I really don't know if anybody's going to touch a 8.46. I think it was a 7. Maisie Creighton laid a 7 in practice, so Sasha Bright was like a tenth slower than what we had for the top 30 in owner points practice earlier this morning. And it was with sunny conditions, by the way. We're down to a minute left to go in the session. Quinton Moore is up to fifth quickest. The 38 of Samantha Johnson on the bubble. Needs to make sure she stays in the top 12. Jacob Foster needs to find about another 100th to have a chance to get into the show this week. Trinity Lee is tied with Jacob Foster, but it doesn't really matter. And with 30 seconds left to go, I don't think anyone's going to touch a 38.846 that Sasha Bright put down. Maria Steiner, 38.75. Believe that will be good enough to get her into the show. And Johnson's been bumped by the 03. And this is the last chance for these drivers. So it looks like Sasha Bright will get the race tomorrow afternoon in the number 67 machine. What a good lap for the 67. Doesn't look like anyone is going to improve that time. Scarlett Wallace on the bubble, but I think she'll be locked in the show. And pole day qualifying for 12 drivers, that will put them into the show. We're waiting for the final seconds to tick down. I believe that will be session complete. And it is session complete. So Sasha Bright, Lucas Sales, Maria Steiner, Mohammed Zain, after failing to qualify the last couple of weeks, as he's back in the show this week. We have Quinton Moore, Lucian Bianchi made another start. Cody Goforth, Pedro Sales, CJ Bracken. So both the Sale brothers made the show. CJ will make his debut. Futaba Sakura will make her truck debut. Trix Christensen, same for her. And Scarlett Wallace, by 13 one-thousandths of a second, will get the final transfer spot. Unfortunately, the drivers who will not get to race tomorrow afternoon and will be heading home are Samantha Johnson, Skylar Davidson. We'll see her tomorrow trying to make the Busch race. Derek Elwood, Jacob Foster, Trinity Lee, Ellie Rose, her first DNQ in the trucks. We'll see her tomorrow in Busch. Ruby White, Timo Mauser, Ebony Mirwes, Lauren Grubius, Nick Pericles. He's a former winner at the track we're going to next week at Dover on the from the PCSRA back in the day. Cheyenne Berkshire, Rachel Sutton, 1 week removed from her first career win, DNQ this week. Xavier Rand, Lindsey Sutton, Victor Alvarez. Samit Ozkin did not qualify for this race. That is not good for him. Dara Schmidt, Bronson Booker, Hannah Smith, Helga Gunnarsson, Tyler Thomas, Lucy Granger, Rogel Dorn, Phelan Bradley, another DNQ for him. Donovan Carter in what could be his last race in that 16 truck. He has yet to make a race this season. There's been some rumors he could be replaced very soon. William Brock, Quincy Jones, Danny Johnson, those drivers unfortunately will not race tomorrow afternoon. So we're going to take a commercial break. We're going to get these 12 drivers to join the other 31 or 30 drivers that were locked in the show who had practiced earlier today. Don't go anywhere, folks. Pole day qualifying will be back after these messages. This is the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network. Welcome back to Loudon, New Hampshire, as we have begun second round qualifying here at the Magic Mile. As cloudy conditions have now come overhead here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, as we are continuing pole day qualifying for tomorrow afternoon's race here. We have our first driver out onto the track. I couldn't tell who it was. It was one of the go-homers that raced their way in. Trix Christensen in the number 95 machine. Second round is now 10 minutes on the clock. So we're guaranteed a new winner this week now that last week's winner failed to qualify for this race. Trix is making her first start of her career. I believe our youngest driver in the field. So it's a 43.973. That is her get up to speed lap. Will you cut that out? So this will be her first official time lap in this number 95 Ford F-Series. A lot of drivers setting early lap times. So 31.547 is the number that, or is the time they will need to beat her time. There's Anthony Ritchie in the number 24 machine. Anthony Ritchie dropped 4 spots down to ninth in the points after a poor result last week at Texas. So we'll see if he can bounce back here this week at the Magic Mile of Loudon, New Hampshire. A lot of drivers coming out on the track. CJ Bracken, can't wait to see what he can do tomorrow afternoon as he made his first Truck Series appearance of his career. It's a 31.121, but the times are going to get a little faster. There's Lucian Bianchi. There's Scarlett Wallace coming out on the track with Cody Goforth. Cody Goforth comes in this race 55th in the points. 35 points to his name. 7 races in. Who would have predicted that before the season? Cody Goforth has had a season to forget, if you ask me. Maria Steiner in the 86. This is her second start of her Truck Series career. She's really been struggling trying to make races this season. In front of her is Michael Brown in the 46. Michael comes in this race 21st in the points. He's been on a bit of a free fall the last couple of weeks as he looks to try to turn what has been a good start to the year, and then it is free falling for this 46 bunch. He is now 19 points ahead of 30th in the standings. He has to stay in the top 30 in the points, otherwise he'll be at risk of having to qualify his way in, which that would not be good for our winner from Coca-Cola. Lena Ritchie in the 1, 19th in the points. We'll be going to her home race next week at the beautiful Dover International Speedway. That will be next week for Trucks, Busch, and Cup, but we got to finish up our weekend duties here in Loudon before we head to the Monster Mile. There's your new points leader, Ashton Ingersoll. Ingersoll takes the points lead after a good run last week. We have a tie for the Rookie of the Year points lead between the gal who's trying to run him down. That would be Gretchen Mueller, lost the points lead. She is now tied with Bora Park for the rookie points lead. It is a female 1-2-3. Dylan Cunningham is 4th in the Rookie of the Year standings, so that's really a close Rookie of the Year fight in the Truck Series. There's Luis Hernandez. He was the one that brought out our caution when he got spun in turn number 3 during green flag pit stops last week at Texas. Ended up finishing pretty poorly. He was the last truck to finish on the lead lap. And as a result, he dropped down to 7th in points, but still having a good season, nevertheless, is Luis Hernandez. Anna Steiner in the 59 jumped up a spot to 29th in the points, now 5 points above the 30th in the standings cut line. Ingrid Pollard in the 99. Ingrid jumped up 14 spots to 10th in points. So not a bad run for the Super Chips Ford F-Series. She'll be in the Exide battery colors next week at Dover. Sam Vickers in the 75 dropped 5 spots down to 28th in the points as we're past the halfway point in this qualifying session here on this Thursday afternoon. Ashlyn Wright, another driver who had a bad finish at Texas, dropped 2 spots down to 11th in points. Still a good rookie year campaign for her. We'll definitely be seeing her tomorrow afternoon in the Busch car, as well as the race on Sunday for the Cup Series. Joshua Ambrosio, with a good run last week, jumped up in that critical 30th in the standings. That meant he had nothing to worry. He can just show up and qualify with these drivers. There's Futaba Sakura. We'll see her tomorrow afternoon trying to go double duty to run the Busch race and the truck race this weekend. You saw Zachy Panini in the 34. Zachy comes into this race If I can find the 34, he dropped 10 spots to 26th in the points. Carlos Rodriguez dropped 12 spots down to 24th in the points. We'll be seeing both Carlos Rodriguez and Michael Brown tomorrow afternoon trying to qualify their way into the Busch race. Michael Brown is on the entry list this week, but they got 44 Busch drivers entered in that race. You saw Zach Foster. I was trying to get to Tatiana Noguera, but the game wouldn't let me. Noguera dropped down to 4th in the standings. She's 2 points back of the rookie points lead. That is how tight the rookie points lead is. But she's currently 36th quickest in this session. Sasha Bright picking up right where she left off in the Go-Go qualifying, along with CJ Bracken, 35.36. I don't think anybody's going to beat that time. That's a good time for Go-Go homers. We're looking at Addison Peterson. Was the slowest in practice earlier today before we had pole day qualifying. So whatever they were trying to work on during during practice, that didn't help. And she comes into this race, the sixth truck. If I can find her in the standings. She is 18th in the points, so she really did not need a bad qualifying, but we'll see her tomorrow afternoon trying to qualify her Busch car in the show. Shyla Askarov. Shyla comes into this race 25th in the points. Shyla will also be seeing her tomorrow trying to qualify the Busch and the Cup car this weekend. This is the only series she has locked into the show. So hopefully some good results that she had in the Cup race hopefully will translate over here this weekend. There's Maisie Creighton. Anna Berger in the 66. Anna Berger is 20th in the points. Maisie Creighton 16th in points. Maisie Creighton may be done for the season on attempting in the Busch series until later in the year. Because remember, she's sharing that ride with CJ Bracken, that 90 car. But her next race will be after when we get back from the 3 races that the Cup drivers are going to be on their own for. So Maisie will more than likely focus on the Truck Series side of things. Abigail Furling in the in the 4th position here in this qualifying session. Abigail Furling comes into this race 23rd in the points. Dylan Ibrahimian, our pole sitter last week at Texas, he is 8th in the standings. That was his second pole on the season. So we're looking at Dylan Cunningham in the 4, 5th in the standings. And with zeros on the clock, I don't think anybody is going to beat that lap time Sasha Bright put down. And Sasha is making her 4th start. This will be her first pole of her career. So I bet you team owner Sarah Taylor, or Skylar Taylor as we know her in the NR community, will be very happy about this. Ashlyn Wright's going to start on the front row. What a lap for the Jelly Belly Chevrolet. That's a good lap for her. And I talked about this with Shyla Askarov on the Cup side. Really good momentum, if you ask me, to try to have some good results here in this session. As we're waiting for the session to be done, and the session is done. So Sasha Bright will start on the pole for tomorrow afternoon's race. Alongside of her is Ashlyn Wright, so it's an all-female front row. CJ Bracken will complete the rookie 1-2-3 order in 3rd, his debut, so good qualifying for him. Abigail Furling, Ashton Ingersoll, Victoria Hughes, Lucas Sales, Lucian Bianchi, Sophia Woodward, Mark Simpson. That is your top 10. Number of drivers who are struggling in the points. good qualifying efforts for them. Good start in track position. Futaba Sakura is going to start 15th, so hopefully this is good news for her being in this series. And also, she really impressed her team owner Jacob Foster, who unfortunately did not qualify for the race, but he'll try again in the Busch Series race this weekend. As you look through the rest of the qualifying results, I get a little concerned about some of these drivers that didn't qualify that well, like Dylan Cunningham, 28th, Zach Foster, 34th, Carlos Rodriguez. They were struggling points and near that 30th in the standings cut line. Addison Peterson, 39th. Tatiana Guerra going to be starting 40th. Ugh. And she's fourth in the points table. Bora Park going to start 21st tomorrow. But this is a track where you can definitely play some pitch strategy. Really, you need to set your truck up for the long run to help with passing as far as this track is concerned. So I think that's something these drivers are going to have. And Shyla Ashcroft, Scarlett Wallace will start on the final row, will complete your field. But as I said, track position really key here at a track like Loudon, New Hampshire. So that is going to do it here for pole day qualifying for the Truck Series. Congratulations to Sasha Bright on her first pole of the season. If you guys enjoyed this qualifying session, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We've shown your starting lineup for tomorrow afternoon's race. They will go green at 3 p.m. Before that, at 9 a.m., yes, look at the time, 9 a.m., we'll have Gorgon qualifying for the Busch Series, getting ourselves ready for pole day qualifying at 1, and then at 3 p.m., we'll have the Craftsman Truck Series race, and then we'll have the Busch race at 3. Before that, Winston Cup qualifying at 1, before their Cup race on Sunday at 1 p.m. So until tomorrow morning for Gorgon qualifying, I'm Daniel Voles. Thank you for joining me and saying goodbye from the Magic Mile of New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We congratulate Sasha Bright on her first career pole of the season. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.